Welcome to the nonsense, Austin. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I've only watched like one or two times, and you're the only podcast I've ever listened to like in my life, so I have no idea what podcasts are.
Don't use us as an example.
Welcome to podcasting.
Hello and welcome to the ParkStop podcast, episode 23. My name is Alicia Stella. With me as always is my co-host Ian.
Hey kids.
And today joining us, very special guest, Austin from Amusement Insider is here. Thank you for joining us, Austin.
Thank you for having me.
Before we get started, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to our Patreons over at patreon.com/themeparkstop. They have been instrumental in us being able to put together like the visuals for these podcasts and for me to take time off to actually put this all together. And especially our producers at the $10 and up level. Thank you so much to all of you, and especially the executive producers, William Corrientes, Francisco, Nick, Bo, and Sonia. Oh my God, like, thank you so much for all your support in these last few months. It has meant the world to us. It's how we're able to do episodes like this. Thank you. Now, Austin is a great guest because you might have seen his YouTube channel, Amusement Insider, where he puts together the POV like recreation videos for roller coasters that don't exist yet.
Which is awesome. Yes. So good.
You just recently put up one for the Jurassic coaster, which, by the way, the editing and the music and the sound effects, just chef's kiss. I want to like spot on. So good.
Thank you. It takes forever to like find the right music. Like
it was
hours
so
and
like,
hours and hours. Like, just
did you time it for that? Did you time the music for that little gap where like with the moment where like it is? Oh my God! Yeah, the moment in the middle. Yeah, the stall. That's it. Oh God, it was so good. And then also, it's like Cheetah Hunt, but with a raptor scream for the launches. That is so exactly what I imagined this ride to do.
Oh, I hope so. Yes.
So like every choice you made there, I love it.
Thank you.
I hope it's getting a lot of views. Everyone go check it out. Amusement Insider on YouTube. But now that we're seeing more track and it's going up fast, I assume there might be slight differences from what you got in your prediction video from what's actually happening.
Yeah, so I'll send you like a new one and you can put it in your YouTube so you can see the most recent version that I have going on, because I'm still like a couple months away from redoing mine. But yeah, there's like a wall stall wave turn in place of where I had an overbank, which is great news because you're getting more airtime. I mean,
I love that.
Who doesn't so like a wave turn or wall stall instead of an overbank? Like, perfect.
And this is why we have you on, because you know the names of things.
Yeah, much
so
better
many
than
times.
Us.
Yeah, in our episode, so many times I'll be like, and there's this one part where it like turns around in a circle. Like that's the extent of my coaster descriptions. And we'll go through a little later on. We'll go through every element that we think we're seeing them install, so you can give us the terminology.
Yeah, it's better to go in order, because otherwise people are like, well, like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Where on the ride?
That one part that goes like this.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean? Like right here, obviously.
Just like, look what my hand is doing. Look, it's this, it's this. But before we even get to that, I did want to talk a little bit about the new Raptor Encounter. And Austin, you were actually in the park Friday, right? Like when the first day it's open to the public.
Yes. It looks great. The entrance is awesome. I didn't go to the Raptor Encounter just because the line was long. So I stood in line and I saw Blue. They were switching it for like, I guess, a baby dinosaur. Is that a true thing?
Yep.
Yeah.
I want
it.
So
Sierra.
They were switching it to Sierra then. But again, I didn't wait around. It was a very long wait.
So I think what they're doing, and it's amazing. First of all, the baby I think was first premiered in Hollywood, along with the walk around Triceratops. So we're a walk around Triceratops away from having everything now. But I think what they're doing is because the Blue has to take a break and go backstage, which now she has her own trailer. And they're kind of bringing out the baby to alternate so that you have something to see or do while you're waiting instead of just standing there for 15 minutes. And I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's cute. Awesome.
I want it.
A lot of people are concerned though, because they have two baby Triceratops, the handheld baby Triceratops that they've had for a long time. And one is named Sahara and one was named Sierra. Sahara and Sierra. It sounds like I'm saying the same word. And now everyone's worried because they named this raptor with the name of one of the baby triceratops. And they're like, did they get rid of one of the baby triceratops? Did they get rid of both the baby triceratops? But
maybe the baby raptor ate the baby triceratops.
Oh my god.
the baby fight. I'd be okay if they got rid of the baby triceratops because she's had her time and the baby raptor is adorable. And also, and that brings me back to this Raptor Encounter is now themed to Jurassic World. It's straight up Jurassic World. And not only is the baby raptor, you know, designed after the way it looks in Fallen Kingdom, but they have Jurassic World patches on their shirts now. There is the logo is blue, and there's even like the spiel says here at Jurassic World, blah 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 blah.
Oh wow.
So it's just straight up Jurassic World in the middle of Jurassic Park because they haven't rethemed the whole land. But the newest attraction that opens, I think. What do you guys think? Does that give us a little indication of what the future of this land might be?
Just a bit.
Yeah, slightly. I mean,
I
Raptor
think
Coaster, new encounter.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Austin.
No, you're good. I mean, I think you could kind of see it from the logo that they're using on all the construction walls, but yeah, I agree. I mean, it's got to be going to Jurassic World now.
I mean, and we've talked about it before that the roller coaster will be heavily influenced by Jurassic World. Even the fact that it's going to be featuring the Raptor style and the Raptor characters, and maybe even Owen from Jurassic World. But I just wasn't sure if the whole land was going to go to Jurassic World because they didn't have the budget, at least in the immediate, to redo the river adventure. So now the question is, do we have a Raptor Encounter and a coaster that's Jurassic World in the center of a Jurassic Park land, just temporarily or forever? Or like, is it two lands in one? So it'll be interesting to see if they just very slowly roll out a change through everything. And then after the coaster opens, or maybe early next year, they close the river adventure and redo that too, for the full like land redo. Well, just not sure yet.
I kind of hope they do at this point.
Yeah, and Camp Jurassic, is that going to be the same, or are they going to do something else there?
Yeah, I think the Discovery Center facade, the front of the Discovery Center, is probably the biggest thing for me because it's like that is the pinnacle of Jurassic Park. And it's like it's not like the land and the mini land in Hollywood where everything just looks like its own thing, so it's okay. All you have to redo is the arch essentially and paint everything blue. You can't paint, although they left the raptor enclosure on the Jurassic World ride. It bugs me because it's clearly the Jurassic Park raptor. It like the on the ride in Predator Cove, and they even filmed Owen. They filmed Chris Pratt on a soundstage to look like he's in front. It's like, why are you using the original Jurassic Park raptor enclosure? That's confusing. So obviously they don't care, is what I'm saying. So they're gonna mix, and team members have always said like, oh, that's just because they based the movies on us. The Jurassic World movie is a movie, but here at Jurassic Park, we're the real park, and it's like, okay, well they can do whatever they want if that's the case.
I still need to borrow a kid so I can go and try it on flyers.
If you had gone to the team member preview, they were letting adults go on because there were no children.
Yes.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So
somebody lend me a kid to go on a ride.
I think the Camp Jurassic would be an easy retheme to Jurassic World. There's not really much, that barely anything actually has the park word written on it. It's the rest. It's the Discovery Center itself and the river adventure that's going to be the hardest change.
Yeah, and a lot of gray roofs coming, I think.
A lot of blue and gray. A lot of blue and gray. Yeah. Did you notice the background? There's like a fake wall along the back of the Raptor Encounter is exactly the design of the corrugated metal walls in the Raptor paddock in Jurassic World.
No, I did not.
It's the theming of that is based on the Raptor paddock walls in the scenes with Owen and like the pig gets escaped and stuff. If you look at the corrugated metal walls in the background, it's exactly what they used for the new Raptor Encounter. I love the electric fences. They're so beefy now around the Raptor Encounter. Like the old yellow ones that they did for our first Raptor Encounter were so wimpy compared to these.
Yeah.
But do they work?
These are heavy duty. I'm not going to touch them. I'm not going to risk that. So anyway, that's the Raptor Encounter. Oh, and there's one other thing. Did you notice, Austin, the gray concrete strip leading to the entrance to the Raptor Encounter, like connects to the coaster area across the street?
Yes, that's very noticeable, and I mean, I don't know what it's for, but it's there for sure.
I think, like, my interpretation of it, the coaster itself is like a big raptor paddock where the raptors are kept. Like, at a zoo, they're like, they have the big kennels that they keep the animals and they bring them out during the day. So I think that's the path that they transfer. It's the transfer path for the raptors. Like, if you were in the raptor box at the beginning of Jurassic Park, it transfers on a track across the street from the paddock to the entrance to the Raptor Encounter. That's my interpretation, anyway.
Okay.
Well, I kind of hope so.
It's like a themed paddock to the guest area connection. And if you look at it from BioReconstruct's aerial photos, it actually lines up with the second launch tunnel. So it's like perfectly aligned Raptor Encounter
very cool.
entrance and a gray strip, and then the Raptor tunnel. And it's like, oh, that's beautiful. Whoever designed
That's
that.
so cool.
Just such a subtle little touch.
Yes, and we need those subtle touches back because there's been some times when they're not there.
And, you know, across the street from Raptor Encounter and across the street from River Adventure is going to be new electric fences and paddock walls. So, like, we'll only see some little bits of the coaster popping up above them. But for the most part, I'm excited. I know our listeners know this already. I'm excited to see electric fences return to the area. It's been too long. I blame Skull Island. They took them from me.
Yes, that's always. Oh, it's always tough to see Skull Island for me.
and the possibilities of expansion that could have been there.
Yeah, so many. Like, especially with Jurassic World coming now, it's like, like all that space would have been there for like something totally original for Jurassic World. But
I mean, this is totally original for Jurassic World.
yeah,
It's just, I never would have guessed in a million years it would have been what we're getting.
yeah, yep.
And that's our segue into, let's talk about the coaster.
Yay!
We talked about this. I always forget. Was it our second episode?
Yeah, I think so, actually.
I think it might have been our second or third episode of the podcast ever. We talked about the Jurassic coaster, and we knew very little. We knew kind of the track layout, and we knew it was about raptors. So since then, we've had the trademark for Velocicoaster. Let's put it to a vote. How many of us believe it's actually going to be named Velocicoaster? Austin?
No.
you just don't think it is. Ian?
I don't know. I hope no. So no.
I hope not. I don't know for sure. It's like on the edge there because it's cheesy enough to be used, but it's cheesy enough that I don't want it.
It's right on the line of, once I see it lit up in a sign, I'll be like, no, I kind of love it now. But hearing it first, just on seeing it on a trademark filing, it's like, really? But yeah, it's so dumb. I kind of love it.
It describes what it is, but I'd rather just see the word raptor. I don't know.
Veloci just means fast, though. They left out the part that actually means bird of prey. So all you get
Angry
is
chicken.
Fast coaster is what it's named. Velocicoaster. Oh, come on. It rolls off the tongue. At least it's short. If that's really what it's called, it's a lot better than Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure.
True.
Jurassic World Velocicoaster Adventure through, I don't know. Jurassic Park.
Other than Fantastic Worlds, I've been on a roll with names. I got the Born Stuntacular, the Hagrid's Magical Creatures. So if I say I think it's going to be Velocicoaster, it might be. I gotta be careful.
Yeah, I could see it. I'm really against that name, but I think it's going to happen.
If it ends up being something so dumb like Jurassic World Aerial Adventure or something, I'm going to be so mad. Because I'd rather it be a one-word, really memorable name. Memorable name.
Good job.
Thank you. This is why I get paid
English.
the big bucks.
I don't know. Austin seems to hate it so much, just starting to talk me into it.
No. Oh well, you'll be in the middle. Ian stays in the middle. I'll be for it. Austin's against it. That we're kind of split that way. So, okay, we talked a little bit about it. They've been installing track. This might not go out publicly to like Thursday. So by then, do we think more track will be installed?
Probably.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what they're going to place next. Like, there's two big segments that are still not done, which is like the probable stall and then the other element right next to the stall. And I think those might be last just because trucks are always driving right there. Possibly.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
And I could be totally off. Who knows? But
Okay, that makes sense why there's so many gaps over around there. And there's still a lot to do over in the actual paddock area.
Yeah, there's some pieces randomly going in, but again, they're very sporadic. So who
Yeah,
knows
and
what's next?
they're putting in supports for like rock work and stuff and prefab theming pieces, and they might need to put that in first before they can do certain other things too. So
Yeah,
it's just like it's a game of Tetris trying to get it just right.
definitely.
For those that haven't been following along, let's just some basic information about the coaster. This is an Intamin manufactured roller coaster.
Yeah, Intamin multi-launch, a lot like Terran from Phantasialand in Germany,
Hmm.
but taller. The speed we don't know yet.
What is
I guess
your current recreation video? What's your top speed on that?
that is at 66.
That sounds pretty good
Ooh,
to me.
that sounds fun.
I think what is Terran top speed?
Terran's at 70, and it's much shorter for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a lot of
but
flat
also,
speed parts. Not it doesn't have the upward part.
yeah, we have the top hat, so that's what's so interesting. It kind of depends on the shaping of that top hat for what speed you can go over it. If they're going for a 90-degree drop out of the top hat, you're not going to have a ton of speed going over it.
Gotcha.
So it's really tough.
In your recreation, your top speed on the second launch,
Yep.
like just the launch itself.
Yep.
So
The
the
launch
descent
itself is what
is
hits
slower.
66. The
Okay.
descent is barely slower. Yep. But
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
yeah, 66 is it right at the end of the launch.
So, okay, let's just get into it. I was thinking we could talk about some of the rumors and then along with what we think the track layout is based on supports that are actually up for the first half of the ride and then what we actually see for the second half of the ride, but kind of go through the full ride experience, and we'll start with like the queue areas and some of the rumors that Ian and I have heard, and then we'll kind of hand the reins off to Austin to talk about the coaster moves themselves because I have no idea what they're called. I heard you say like Immelman or something, and I'm like, what word is that? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're saying. It's
It's
that
like the
thing that
first
slants to the left. That's what it is.
the first element in Sheikra is like an Immelman. So it's just that half loop that ends up spinning flat afterwards. So
It's
that's gonna be the first element of this coaster too.
right after the first
But
launch, right?
yeah, it's just a bit tilted, so it's
Okay.
shaped a bit differently. But yeah, that's an Immelman.
Okay, so starting from the queue, you're gonna enter the ride entrance is gonna be like in the waterfront area, which was a very disused area. So I'm kind of glad that they did it this way. But the ride entrance will be on the waterfront side, just to the left of the Discovery Center. So like you're looking at the entrance to the visitor center from Jurassic Park, and then right to the left of that is an entrance to a roller coaster. Um, and you go through the entry gate, and the first section of queue is covered, kind of like the river adventure section of queue. And there's an extended queue out down by the water, which is neat because you would actually go under the top hat to walk to the extended queue. But then I think after that first section, we go into the interior queue, which is that's what's being constructed right now. We can see the kind of rounded off structure to the left of the Discovery Center. The whole lower level, I think, is queue areas. And we have a little bit of rumors of what we think might be in here. It's still maybe too early to tell, but one of my guesses has been something like an InGen laboratory or something having to do with research.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's what like you're entering almost like a lobby after the exterior queue. And after the lobby is like a laboratory, and after the laboratory is definitely, I'm thinking like Raptor like stables with the muzzles from Jurassic World. I don't know if it's inside the queue or just like outside the queue, and you can kind of see it from where we are. Like maybe it's part of the paddock that's part of the ride itself, but the idea being that you're getting closer to the raptor paddock, and it's like here's how we can administer medicine through these muzzles or whatever with through safety. They can't open their jaws, blah blah blah. But it's definitely Jurassic World based, because if we have the muzzles and we have the stables,
Mhm.
just like the Raptor Encounter itself, definitely feels like a Jurassic World attraction.
I just wish there was gonna be raptor heads in there that reacted like the Mummy ride. Where you touch them, they growl at you or something. It'd be so good.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, so Ian, you think empty muzzles, no actual raptor head here?
Sadly, yes. I don't know how they could do that without them getting beat up or people picking at them and messing at them if you could reach them or something like that. People
Well,
ruin nice things.
what if it was like a big like picture window, and it's outside, and you kind of see like the paddock area outside, and then they could do it, and it would be like a controlled environment where we can't touch it.
Yeah. So we can't ruin things. I think it'd be cool to see one in one of the muzzles at least. It would kind of like build up a little excitement. I just want to touch it and have it growl at me or something.
It might be one of those situations where in the room before they have monitors, and like Hoskins, is that his name? He's like, hey, you're my boy Blue. And it's like, Blue is a girl. Like they just show clips of the muzzle, and then you go into the next room and then you see the muzzles, and it's like, I just saw that, but it doesn't have a dinosaur in it because the dinosaurs are roaming around the paddock. And then the load station, we can see this from the construction already. The load station is upstairs. So we make our way upstairs to load onto the coaster. I think it's not a moving load walkway like Hagrid, which thankfully, because I think that's been a little weird. But I think it's also not a separate load unload. I think it's just like a good old fashioned people get off onto the one side and people get on the other side, which isn't like Hulk like that.
Yes. Yeah.
I think
And
there's
it
only
seems
enough
like
room.
yeah, exactly. It seems like there's only enough room for that.
So if you're trying to imagine it in your mind, I think exactly like Hulk, where you kind of walk up a ramp or stairs, and then you're told, go to this row, go to this row, go to this row, and then everyone else is getting off the coaster on the other side. I think exactly like that is the load kind of it's a very classic style coaster load.
Yep.
Okay, so I guess the premise is we're going into the Raptor paddock. Don't know why. Don't know. Don't know. Like, hey, everyone, go be eaten by raptors. I don't know what the point is. I don't know if the conceit is all of a sudden we're a raptor and it's like it's time to put you away for the night. I don't know. But it looks like that first turn out of the station. Like as soon as you exit out of the station building, you're in a turn to the left to go into that scene 1 building. That whole thing will be enclosed in like a mesh cage, and it's like a transfer cage. And the example I've been using is like if you go to an aviary at a zoo, you have to walk through 2 doors so that the birds don't get out, and they have like that extra layer of security. This mesh cage is like that extra layer of security where you go through the cage, and then you get to the scene 1 building, and there's like a raptor paddock door, and the door swings open, and then you're launched into the paddock. And for this first part of the ride, all of it takes place within electric fences.
Yeah, that's super interesting, and yeah, that
I
sounds
like the idea.
awesome. Yeah, I like that idea a lot.
And these mesh cages kind of come up time and time again here, where not only the turn leading into scene 1, but also right after it for the first part of the launch. And then the metal tunnel kind of turns into a rockwork tunnel, which obscures our view. And as soon as like we exit the tunnel, we're going up the Immelman.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank
Good
you.
vocabulary. Yay.
I'm learning things. And okay, so Austin, can you describe what this move is now that we've launched at a very high rate of speed and into the start of this ride?
Yes, so I'm guessing about 50 to 55 here.
Nice.
The Immelman is just a half loop, so just think of a vertical loop. And then as you exit the loop, so you're at the top of the loop, you're just going to flip around instead of, so you face in the direction you just came from.
So like a U-turn, but going up instead of going to the side.
Yes. So through the half loop, and then you'll spin out of it, so you're facing the opposite direction you just came into the loop from.
So heading back toward the station now.
Yep.
You stood next to it just a few days ago. How tall is this, or how tall will it be when the track is installed?
Oh boy. Let's see.
I'm bad at heights, so it's okay if you don't know. It's somewhere between 5 and 1,000 feet tall. I'm not. That's me.
Okay, total guess, but like 100 feet above the lagoon. But you're already higher at this point, so
Yeah.
maybe
Or your
80.
whole story higher. Yeah, okay.
Maybe.
I could see that.
Yeah.
So maybe half the height of what the top hat might be, right?
Yeah, that's what I would guess.
Okay. So still a pretty big move to start this ride off.
Yeah, definitely.
I also, when you said 50 or 55 or whatever, all I could think is in Muldoon in Jurassic Park answering the question like how fast can the Raptors go? And it's like 50, 60 miles per hour if they ever got out in the open. And I'm like, oh, perfect.
Ooh, yeah.
Perfect. So it is cheetah hunt. It is where cheetah hunt's like, you're supposed to be going as fast as a cheetah over the Serengeti. Well, this is a raptor and you're going as fast as a raptor. Raptor hunt. That was our first guess for a name all the way back when we did our second episode. I remember
Whoa.
that.
Wow.
Okay, so we're heading back toward the direction that we came from. What happens next?
Then you're into a dive loop, which is pretty much the opposite of the Immelman. So you're starting to go up, you twist to the left, and then you go downwards, like you're coming out of a loop. So it's the exact opposite of what you just did.
Okay, and if anyone's watching the visual version on YouTube, Theme Park Stop, I'm probably showing clips from your video, Austin, so that we can kind of get an idea. But then I'll also show the track layout so we can also see where we're talking about. But there's a lot of moves in this small contained space, and that reminds me of Turin.
Yeah.
At Fantasia Land.
Yeah, and if there's a lot of rock work, it's gonna look so cool and feel so amazing when you're on this.
I mean, there's I heard 4 rockwork tunnels throughout this whole area, and like instead of doing a full tunnel, I think it's like rockwork walls, and then there's like a rockwork canopy over top of it, so it feels like you're enclosed. And they're separating the different elements of the track, so you never really know what's coming up next. So it's pretty exciting and also terrifying.
Yeah, that'll be incredible.
So good.
Out of the dive loop, back to the ground. I think you're just taking a right turn here as you start to go upwards. And then you're going to flip to the left and go back down to the ground. So this is just a right-left air hill.
I think around here is a waterfall, which
so fun.
As a way to break it up and even more, it's like tunnel, waterfall, tunnel.
Yeah, so if you turn to the right and then you go back to the left, as you're taking that left turn, you're right back near like the guest pathway.
Okay.
The left towards the ground.
Oh, we didn't even mention it, but that first Immelman, it looks like almost you're gonna hit the Camp Jurassic Pteranodon flyers. Like you're heading right straight for Camp Jurassic and then turn upward at the last second. It is butted right up against that area.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's interesting. And that area is covered in rockwork too. So it'd be interesting if they kind of continue that motif into this area.
Yeah, I think it's like brown rocks in there, so I'm hoping that they match it like exactly.
Yeah, me too. Even if they change to Jurassic World, I really hope they keep the red rocks of like the entrance to River Adventure and stuff, and then match this across the way to that rockwork.
Yeah, so we're on the pathway along the ground. This is the part that's kind of iffy. Don't know if it's exact. You go back up as you're taking this left turn, and you'll either hit a Heartline Roll right there, or you'll hit just a regular S turn back and forth.
Okay.
I'm going to guess it's a Heartline Roll, though. So as you pull up away from the pathway, you will turn upside down for the third time.
Wow.
Ooh, yay.
I mean, I had only thought there would be 3 inversions total on the whole ride, and we still have a couple more out over the water, so...
Yeah,
can't wait for the
thinking
water.
5.
Wow. As opposed to Hagrid 0, they're really making up for what we lost with the Dueling Dragons.
Yeah, so funny about Dueling Dragons, we were walking across the bridge from Jurassic Park to Harry Potter, and somebody pointed at the black track, and they told their friends, they were like, oh wow, that's the old Dueling Dragons.
Oops. Sorry about that.
Like, oh no. Like, wow, they still haven't taken it down.
Having seen it in person, this track is very big, right? Like it's hard to tell in photos just how wide this track is.
It's huge. So they keep it below the tree line, which you think won't be super noticeable as you walk into the park, but it is so wide that, I mean, you can't miss it.
Because it's much, like, it feels beefier than like the Hagrid track.
Yeah, it's very beefy.
Okay.
It's this new generation Intamin track. The Hagrid uses kind of the old gen, like triangular sections.
The cheetah hunt.
This has, yeah, exactly. But this will have either single spine or double spine if the forces are high enough. So that's why you're seeing the double spine in the second half of the layout, just because the forces are so high, the speed is so high, and the turns are so tight.
Right. Okay. So you think Heartline Roll? Still not sure entirely. Is
Which is
this right?
this is after the like low to ground left turn right
Mhm.
near the pathway. You're back up in the air after the this is so hard to describe.
Yeah. Well, it's like
um
just a big mess of
I
track.
know
It's like
I
going to
know.
be.
it's a huge
Crazy.
knot.
Yeah, they're all intertwined in such a unique way, and then it's going to be covered in rock work, and like you won't be able to see like most of it anyway once it's done. So it's
Yeah.
interesting now that we actually will be able to see it like kind of be built up
Yeah,
from
and
the
we're still
ground.
struggling with like, wait, where are we?
Exactly. I don't know
You're
what I'm
going
showing on screen now. It's just an
you're
aerial
heading
of supports at this point. Like here's a picture from Bio Reconstruct. I don't know what's going on.
you're heading back through the Immelman at this
Okay.
point when you're
Okay.
doing this Heartline roll. So you should get some hang time, like you'll be out of your seat upside down.
You have
That is the thought.
in your POV video, you have a raptor,
Yeah.
like a statue raptor. Which, by the way, where did you get that asset? I love it. Did you make it? I love it.
I did not make it. It's from
Oh,
I don't know, a SketchUp like group where you can just share things.
And you put in like a
I was like,
stereophonic
Raptor.
sound effect as you pass by it, like
Yeah.
zooming by your right ear. It was so
Yeah,
perfectly timed.
exactly.
I'm like,
So
that is
good.
so nice. There are rumors that there's at least one raptor in this area somehow. I think there's foundations for figures in this area. So if you have like a foundation, you're not sure, like this doesn't go to anything. It might be, I mean, it might be for the canopy of rock work, but it also might be for an animated figure of some sort. So you might not be that far off on that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Boo.
There is a very odd like foundation there that's large, but yeah, it could be rockwork. Who knows?
Yeah, that could be the canopy support. If it's similar to a coaster support, that might be canopy support because it's going to be heavy.
Yeah.
But there's going to be smaller things, like the little tiny cute ones over around the first turn and around the maintenance building. Those are for the mesh cage that goes around the track.
Okay.
The
Those
little
little
tiny
cute
cute
footings.
ones.
You know what I'm talking about, Austin, right? The little square cute footings.
Little
They're so
cute
tiny.
footings.
They're so
So good.
tiny.
It's so
They're like
good.
tiny coaster footings. And that'll be for the cage, I think. Okay, so and I heard one rumor. Someone said there's going to be 4 raptors on this ride, and I assume you're going by them so fast that they don't even need to move. Just put a sound effect like you did in your video. But the number 4 is intriguing to me because there are 4 raptors in Jurassic World, so that feels like it could be a true rumor.
Ooh.
You know, Blue, Charlie, Delta, and Echo,
Yep. You got him.
and Owen's the Alpha.
And Sierra now, too.
Raptor Squad. That could be the name of the coaster. I hope not.
Oh, man.
Squad.
Raptor Squad. That's what people called them when the movie came out, and like the toys called them.
At that point, I'll take Velocicoaster.
Yeah, there we go. We found your breaking point.
Raptor Squad is a no-go at all, huh?
No, please no.
Jurassic World's Raptor Squad's aerial adventure.
Oh, it sounds scary accurate to the way they name things.
It's the right amount of words. Okay, so
What? Out of the Heartline roll?
yes, where do we leave
Yeah.
Out
off?
of the Heartline roll, I believe you're spinning to the left into a overbank turn, which will just be banked like beyond 90 degrees. You'll go through it quickly though. And then I think you're right along the ground. This is where I threw in that Raptor
Right.
3D.
Wow.
Yes. And I think you'll be right along the ground for just a left-right turn. I think you'll be lower to the ground than what I have in the video, just based
Okay.
on footers that I've seen in the park.
Gotcha.
So I think that's a pretty low to ground section, left-right. And then you're just over the air hill, and then you're into the second launch tunnel.
Right. And that's the second launch tunnel is at the lower level. It's like level with the lagoon level.
Yes.
Whereas like the front half, like where the Raptor Encounter is like technically a second level. So like I can see how the ground had to be dug out there because to get into this long tunnel, it's technically underground at this point anyway.
Yeah, it's amazing to see the elevation change. It's hard to see it now because they have the big storage building built, but when you could stand by Popeyes and like look up this hill, it was like, whoa, like how do they have this much elevation in Florida? But yeah,
Yeah,
they dug down a lot. Like it's impressive.
every time going from Burger Digs to the bottom level of Discovery Center and then coming out on the ground level, it's so confusing. Like I came in on the ground level, went downstairs, and I'm still on the ground level. How is that possible? So we're thinking like 60-ish miles per hour on this really long, fast launch.
Yes, hopefully over 65. I don't know.
Do you know what kind of launch this is and how it's different than other coaster launches? Or
I think it's going to be LSM. So it's same as
Yeah.
Cheetah Hunt.
Okay.
And it can act like as a brake if there's ever any issues with it not making it through the track.
Oh, so a rollback out of Top Hat would actually, it has its own brake built in. So is that how Hagrid is, where all of the launches are also brake zones?
Yeah, yep, similar to that.
Okay.
So they can act as both.
And it better make the sound. I expect the sound.
Yes. I would love a big Raptor launch sound.
I've many a times made the impression of my impression of the Cheetah Hunt pounce sound, which is what I think of it. And it's like, wow.
Oh boy.
It mixes with like the sound of the launch and the sound effect and creates like its own sound. The Top Hat, the main support for the first part of this is up, but we are expecting a second support on the way down that isn't installed, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think I would think there has to be. I don't know how else. I would think it'd be pretty much the same support again.
Oh, you think it'll be the same? I was thinking it'll be slightly shorter because the second half coming down is at an angle more
could
than
be.
the way up.
Yeah, if it is at an angle, I don't know. It's so tough to see how they might shape this because you can look at rides like Accelerator or Stealth, which have just 90-degree top hats up and then down, and the supports are going to look the same on both sides. But yeah, I don't know.
This is going straight up. 100. What do you think? 150, 160 feet, or
Yes, maybe 160. I think I got 39 meters as the height of that support over the lagoon.
What's that in
supports,
freedom units?
Maybe that's like 110 feet, maybe.
Oh, for the support.
For just the support. Yeah.
But the track is going to go higher than the support.
Yes.
Okay.
How high? I don't know.
So this goes.
I guess I would guess 160, but
you go. Are you airing? Do you think it'll be slightly shorter than that or higher?
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Okay.
He's like so much pressure.
I've been saying I don't see it over 160. I've been saying about 150, 155, but then but I'm also bad at heights. So the Statue of Liberty is 6,000 feet tall. I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so tough to tell.
So you're going straight up the Top Hat, and then we're essentially turning to the left to come back down. Like if we kept going back down the same way we came up, we'd go toward the Hulk. We'd go straight toward like port of entry because that's where we're facing. But we're going to turn left to go in front of the Discovery Center. So how does that like work at the top? Like, do we twist to the right a little bit and then go turn to the left? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's another. It's really tough to say. I would think you're going to turn about 90 degrees to the left, and then the track's just going to be straight again. And at that point, you'll just have a straight drop down with no banking at all.
Yeah, and I agree with the banking, but I don't think it's going to be so straight down like to match the upward. I think it's going to be more sloped. I feel like it's going to be because it has to clear their walkways underneath it too for the extended queue. So like that's why I'm thinking that second support might be 2/3 as tall as the first support.
Okay.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then decreasing down. So it's almost like a 45 degree instead of a 90 degree. We're going with a little more slope.
And that could allow more speed, which could be great too.
Especially going into that little bit in front of the Discovery Center, which we've talked about maybe has a water feature of some sort, because it looks like there's in the permits, it looks like there's some kind of, and they've built it with the concrete, like almost like a reflecting pool of sort, with maybe like a waterfall out to the front part of the waterfront. Oh, I forgot what coaster it was, but I saw just like the Hulk does, where it does the splashdown effect, where like or Manta does, where like the water sprays on either side, like it hit the water. I've been wondering if they're going to do something like that for this little moment where you come down in front of the Discovery Center, if it is in fact a water feature.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh. Now you're gonna make me want that.
So yeah, that's what I'm expecting, and I'm going to be sad if there's not water there. Which the visitor center in Jurassic Park did have a reflecting pool with cascading water, but it was on the left and right, not down the center. But that's close enough. So, but then we were thinking that little moment has like a bank to the side and bank to the other side, right?
Yeah, a quick right left bank. A lot like I Speed. If you watch I Speed from Italy, I want to say. I think
Is
it's
this
going to be a
like I
lot like
zombie,
that
like
move.
lowercase I, uppercase S, like I
Yeah,
speed?
kind of like an Apple-based thing.
Okay, iPhone.
The Apple Zombie.
I have not heard of that.
Yeah, I Speed Mira Belandia. I would look
If
at
we're hitting
that
this at a high rate
element.
of speed, like 50 miles an hour, won't that be like an intense banked moment? Just boom, boom.
Yeah, it should be. It should be very boom boom for sure.
Sounds fun. I'm into that.
Boom boom, and then directly upside down into a short stall.
So wait, there's upside down right after this?
Yes, that's definitely confirmed. After the quick boom boom,
Thank you for using my technical term.
you'll turn to the left. As you keep going to the left, you will go upside down, and you can
Wow.
tell that from the connectors in the track that's going to place.
Oh,
right
is
now.
that where the part with the next part is like it's upside down where they left off for the track?
Yep.
Where it's just about to right itself?
Yeah, right where that track ends is where we're going right after
Okay.
this.
Is this a 540 or is it more than 540?
The angle.
Like the rotation around this circle over the bridge, because we're heading toward Hogsmeade now. We're past the Discovery Center. We've gone upside down. We're righting ourselves, and I've been calling it a 540, like the total number of degrees we're going, because you go a full 360,
Yeah.
and then you don't go a full 360 again because we start going back over the lagoon. But is it? I guess 540
I
makes
guess,
sense.
yeah, it's right around that. Yeah.
It could be 620. I'm not good at math. It's 608. It's pretty close.
Oh man. Let me
Now
get my
this one,
protractor out.
in your recent video on Amusement Insider, you were talking about how you got part of this wrong in your recreation video, right?
Yes, so out of the stall, you're going to go down towards the water, right past the three broomsticks outdoor eating. And then instead of an overbank, you're going to have like a wall stall or a wave turn, which is kind of
Yes.
just a turn that also like launches you out of your seat, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because I heard you say
Um,
wave turn, and I've never heard that before. But I haven't heard any of these before. So you like
yes.
almost fall out of your seat. Is there any rides I've been on that there's an example of that on? Is it like
Not really. It's a
uh
pretty new element. Just imagine your body at like 90 degrees, and then it's
uh-huh.
gonna like shoot you out of your seat. So while you're at 90 degrees, you're going to be, like, the track's gonna push you outward and then pull you
Okay,
back
like a bump
inwards.
almost.
Yes, it's a 90-degree angled bump.
So not like on Rip Ride Rocket where you pass over the queue and just turn sideways and you fall out because you're turning sideways. This is like that, but also with a little propelled moment.
Yes, exactly.
Um, like Mako go when you Mako goes through the ship at the entrance at the end of the ride, you turn sideways, but it doesn't bump you. It just turns sideways. So
Yep,
more
like
than
that,
that.
but it's gonna have that bump, so you're gonna come
Okay.
out of your seat while you're 90 degrees sideways.
Yeah, that's terrifying. I'm terrified because
It's
I already
very
hate the turn
fun.
sideways thing.
I'm into
Eh,
it.
If Rocky Mountain Construction kind of like made this element what it is, so Iron
mhm.
Gwazi also has an element like this,
Gotcha.
and they're very popular in the RMC Rocky Mountain Construction
What
roller
are you
coasters.
looking forward to most? This or Iron Gwazi?
This like definitely took the top spot.
Okay,
After
but
seeing
it
what
was
it's
close.
doing, it's incredible. Yeah,
Okay.
it was close, I think.
Okay, so we were going around the circle. We pass in front of the three broomsticks after going upside down, and then we do this. What'd you say?
Yeah, wave turn or wall
Wave
stall,
turner or wall star?
they're
Okay,
both similar.
and then we're heading back over where the upside down part was, over the bridge again, and then we're heading back by the three broomsticks a second time, right?
Yes, and while you're passing over the bridge the second time, I don't think you're going to continue with the right banking. I think you're actually going to go right, left, right quick. So it's going to break up that constant right banking, and you're going to get a nice little S turn in there.
Because you could get a little sick if you were constantly swirling around at
Yeah,
a
I
right
guess.
bank.
Yeah.
No offense to Everest. No offense.
Oh my god. Yeah.
They really
Right
wanted
turn,
to
right
make it
turn,
look like
right turn.
they wanted to make it look like Mickey Mouse ears from above, and now we have 3 elliptical moments all going in the
Yes.
same direction. And
Yeah.
it's like it looks great from above, but we're banking a lot going in the same circle. So I like that idea. Okay,
Yep.
then we're heading back out over the lagoon, back
Yep.
the way
Back
we
over the
came.
lagoon and overbank over the same pathway. Then you're right along the lagoon, a tiny little air hill that you can see is already in place, and then the Heartline Roll that you can
Like a little
already see
bunny
in
hill,
place.
like on Hagrid.
Yep, and I
Uh,
imagine it's going to be 0G because there's absolutely no supports under it. So
so no
you're
weight will
just
be
going to
pushed down. We're
go,
gonna float out of our seat
yep,
almost.
you're just going to be probably perfect floater
Nice.
0G moment.
Those are good. I like
Yep.
those better than the the positive or falling. Anything that keeps me from falling out is also good.
Yeah, and then into the Heartline Roll, like the most talked about element ever in coasters this past week. Like it's just been everywhere. It's crazy.
Well, why is it such a big deal? What is the connection to Maverick when it comes to this move?
So Maverick had this roll in place near the finale, and they took it out. The rumors are somebody wrote it, and it was just way too uncomfortable, or they put the G-force test dummy in, and it just read these incredible G's that like lateral G's that were off the chart, and they were like, "No way, we have to replace this right now."
So it didn't even open with it?
It did not, and the
Oh, okay.
rumor is just the one person wrote it, from Intamin. But yeah, it's like back. It's a little more elongated, and if you look straight down the roll, it's the heart line, which is like where the rider's heart travels through the roll,
Which is
is
supposed to be like
very,
centered. It's supposed to stay almost in the same
yeah,
spot, right?
yeah. So this has a very widened heart line, so it should be comfortable.
Okay. That
I
keeps you
mean,
from
it's
getting
like,
nauseous. It keeps
yeah,
your center of gravity. It's like those gyroscope things that were popular in the 90s. They would always say, like, you won't get sick on it because your center of gravity stays in the middle. And it's like, yeah, but the world's swirling around me. So,
yeah, yeah, exactly. Otherwise, your head, like, think about your head if you were to just spin like a straight inline twist 180 degrees, like your head would be flying like
mhm.
5 feet away from the track, like way outside. It'd be super uncomfortable. So
And it's really close to the water, and the water is probably going to be raised up a little bit. I think the water level is a little bit down. So, our
yeah,
heads are going to like be just like right above the water line on this move.
yeah, everybody's gonna be reaching for the water.
I'm excited for this just because it's over the water.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And this is lower than the Discovery Center too. So like looking at it from port of entry, it'll be interesting to see this level here and then the touchdown level and then the Discovery Center. Like there's track, Discovery Center, and it's all kind of layered, and the track goes up on the left and it goes up on the right, but it's like framing the Discovery Center in a way, and that was nice of
Yeah,
them.
exactly. That's such a good word, framing. It's really nice how it goes down lower, so you still have the unobstructed view of the Discovery Center.
Mostly unobstructed. I think it's
Yeah,
still.
mostly
I
it
think
is.
that touchdown is going to probably cover it a little bit on the left third, but that's okay.
Yeah, it is huge track too. It's not like it's invisible.
Yes, exactly. So you think this is like a take two for Intamin? They're like, we're going to get it right this time with the Heartline Roll. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
I think so.
revenge of the Maverick Heartline Roll.
Yeah, it definitely won't be like that one because of the way it's shaped. But
They've learned from their mistakes.
yeah, it is back at high speed.
And okay, then the track kind of levels out and just kind of goes to the end of the ride, right? There's nothing else special about the ending.
Yeah, just right left. I don't think it's overbanked or anything. I think it's just a turn to the brake run to get you there.
It goes around the maintenance building back into, and this is like back into the paddock. It goes through that mesh tunnel one last time. So we've done the mesh tunnel to get into the paddock,
Yes.
mesh tunnel to get out of the paddock, and now mesh tunnel to get once again back into the paddock area.
So you've escaped the paddock and then gotten recaptured.
Yeah. So the question is like, are we running with the Raptors because we're a Raptor and then we escape with the Raptors and then we come back home like after we're done running around?
Yeah.
Or are we escaping from the Raptors and then afterward we come back for some reason? And the one of our early theories was that this was a screen tunnel at the very, very end. and that there would be a screen version of Owen saving us from the Raptors. But looking at all the supports and everything, I just don't see it being big enough to do such a thing. It feels more just like a long stretch that in case it's backed up at load, we have to wait here. What are our thoughts on what the trains and the restraints would be like?
I think they're gonna be just like Terran trains or like Pantheon, which is the new
Mhm.
Busch Gardens Williamsburg coaster.
Yeah, I think that's a good example of
So
because
yeah, lap bars, comfortable.
it's rows of two, right?
I would imagine. I like can't believe they would do 4. It's just it has to be 2.
Okay. It's more nimble that way, right? Especially with all that first part. There's no way you can't imagine like the Hulk coaster going through that first part.
Yeah. Yep.
Is Pantheon have like the newer version of the restraints? Because
It does. Yeah. They
it still
come
goes over
over
your
your head.
shoulder. Yeah, okay.
Yes. But it's just like very wide. Like the metal bars around you are very wide, so you're not going to feel like you have an over the shoulder restraint on. It's just going to feel like a lap bar.
So it is it's like a lap bar.
Yep. It should just be on your thighs pretty much.
Oh. Because
Super,
Mako
super comfortable.
terrifies me. Mako terrifies me to no end just because of that stupid lap bar. It's barely it's nothing. It doesn't even go all the way across my
Yeah.
lap. It's like just a little nugget that just I'm already terrified of the Rip Ride Rocket thing because like it just doesn't feel like it's ever clicking enough. But
Yeah.
at least that covers your whole lap. Like the Mako thing is. So the idea of having bars, can I put my hands on the bars over my shoulders?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd be reaching backwards a little bit, wouldn't you? Be like elbows
Yeah.
pointing forward.
Yeah, they're kind of behind you once they're down, so it's
Oh
not
no.
really
Okay.
something you can grab
So it's a
onto.
lap bar. It's essentially a lap bar.
Yeah.
Yep, basically. Hang on
Once it's
tight before you fly
down.
out.
Yep, yeah, exactly. You're not going to even
Oh.
notice it was an over the shoulder thing once you put it down.
Oh, darn.
Yeah.
Because I rode
very free.
Tigress and it has the comfort collar, which
Yeah.
offers nothing.
Yeah.
But it still makes me feel a little bit safer. Like I have a backup plan in case I fall out. Like
Yeah,
at least I have
think that's
something.
what it means. I think that's the comfort, not the actual feel.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
Oh my gosh, I just got it. I never understood that. I was
Because it
like, these
certainly
aren't
isn't
comfortable.
Yeah,
It's not
peace of
comfortable.
mind.
It's
It's
just
like,
peace of
yeah, peace of mind comfort. Wow.
It's like a thunder
Thanks.
blanket for dogs. That
Yeah.
it's just adding comfort.
Alicia's thunder blanket.
Wow,
Oh,
totally
man.
clueless on that front. I can't believe it.
this coaster is going to
Thanks.
terrify me. I know
Thanks
it.
for explaining that to me.
Oh, I can't wait to ride this with you.
I'm going to be so scared. You have to be there for the first time I go on it because after the first time, I say usually because I'm still terrified on Mako every single time. I'm like, this lift hill feels taller than it did last time. Every time I go on it.
Oh, I need to do that. Oh, GoPro yourself. I want to see it.
Ugh.
Yeah, we need that video. We need to see you on Mako, please.
It's with what are they, trim brakes? Why are there brakes on that Mako on the second hill or the first big hill?
Yeah, that's
don't like it.
terrible. I don't know.
It kind of ruins all the fun.
It does.
I mean, it's probably keeping us from flying off and dying, but still. But still. They shouldn't have built it that way then.
Yeah, it's probably something to do with stress on the trains, yada yada.
Safety, blah, 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 crack in
Yeah.
half and we fall out over the water, whatever. So a lot of people really want there to be like a mosasaurus that comes out of the water in the circle part in front of the 3 broomsticks.
Yeah.
What do we give the odds? What's the over under on a mosasaur popping out of the water in the 540?
100,000 to 1.
That there won't be one? Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be too fun. They can't do that. That'd be way too fun.
Oh, can you imagine? All the people are already complaining about the view from the 3 broomsticks. Imagine if the giant mosasaur was popping out of the water every 15 seconds.
Actually, they'd probably stop complaining. Some people would probably stop complaining, and a whole other group would start complaining.
Oh, Austin, did you say you have to buy food to go to the back porch of the 3 broomsticks right now?
You do have to buy food to go back there. Yep. They seat
Sweet.
you, so you have to ask for a table outside, and then they'll bring you back there. But otherwise, yeah, you have to order some food.
Because normally I get a butterbeer or frozen butterbeer from the Hogshead pub and then walk out back. And I said, like, does that count? I think that should count.
No, they won't even let you through those doors. Or
Oh,
if you even
man.
try to go by the ATM, there's somebody watching. You can't go that way. It's like a one-way
Whoa.
direction. You only go out. Yep.
Is that a social distancing thing?
Yep.
Or is
I
it for the
imagine it
coaster?
is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But you might be able to sit down and just order a butterbeer from your waiter or waitress and then enjoy it back there. I don't think they'd mind if you do that.
They're taking orders at your table?
They do. Yep.
Oh, okay. Now that explains it. They're seating you first and then you're ordering.
Yeah, it's kind of like a half full service
That's
thing.
neat.
Yeah. Yeah, you get like an added bonus for the same price, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Because
not bad.
Yeah.
That's
it was already that you ordered it and they brought you the food. This is even like a step up above that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not bad. I'll take that too.
Okay, I think there's other theming elements we didn't really talk about. I'm still trying to figure out where the lockers are going. Do we think this will have metal detectors?
I would say no, just because of Hagrid not having them.
Hagrid doesn't go upside down though, and it doesn't go over guest areas.
Yeah.
So this is my
don't
question: is
know.
like, if this goes over the guest bridge and the extended queue, then it's no different than Rip Red Rocket, which also only goes over guest
Yeah.
areas in two little spots. Similarly, the queue, and then over possibly, especially at like Halloween Horror Nights, over the production area. If it's requiring metal detectors, I feel like it needs to have a bigger locker area like Hulk
Oh, yeah.
does. So
Oh, yeah.
it's possible maybe the right side of the Discovery Center becomes a long locker area over by the round circle part of the concrete where the like roads divide. That would give them the whole wall all the way up to the Coke watering hole as a locker area. So that's a possibility too. It depends on how much room they need for lockers, whether or not they need the metal detectors. And if it is a Jurassic World attraction and they're kind of making this bypass bridge sort of an entrance into this like coaster waterfront area, I think there's going to be some kind of signage or icon that like says Jurassic World as you enter. Like we have the Jurassic Park arch over by Hogwarts, but this is an opportunity to kind of have another newer version of an entry into the land from the bypass bridge. So expect some kind of like once they start pouring the pavement down there, expect some kind of entry gate thing that's Jurassic Worldy. That's my guess.
I'm good with that. I think it sounds cool.
Yeah, that would look great.
I like the small archway that like goes into the attractions like the T-Rex Kingdom and stuff in the movie. Something like that would be cool. Okay. I think that's going to wrap it up for our Jurassic Coaster, Velocicoaster Raptor Squad's aerial adventure.
Oh, it was so fun. I want to ride this thing.
Thank you so much, Austin, for being here. Let everyone know where they can find you and find these videos we talked about.
No, thank you guys so much. This was great. It was a lot of fun. YouTube.com/Amusement Insider or at Amusement Insider.
Yes, I see you posted really cool pictures on Twitter too, so it's worth following on Twitter.
Yes, I always try to.
And thank you once again to our patrons. That's patreon.com/themeparkstop. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month, and we have additional podcasts that are only available on there. We do at least once a month, but we're going to be starting to do a little bit more. We did a fun rumor episode recently, and we're talking about every ride at Universal Studios Florida. Happy 30th anniversary. So check those out. I think that's it. Okay.
Yay! Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.